Hi, last night a friend and I sat down to watch Genesis perform their first gig on their last Domino tour. The tour that Phil Collins has firmly insisted that this is it. It will be the last dance. When this tour finishes, I think it's on December the 16th, 2021, Genesis will cease to exist. And I will admit, for the first few minutes, yes, I was shocked at Phil Collins' appearance. The once ever exuberant Mr. Collins, so full of life, energy, and drive, now reduced to sitting hunched in a chair. The man who used to belt out his lines and then sprint back to his drum kit to perform extraordinary complex drum duels with Chester Thompson. And my heart dropped when Phil began to sing, and he was a bit shaky, a bit all over the place, and the songs had been set in a lower key, and the addition of backing singers covered a multitude of sins. But you know what? He grew into it, and by the end of the show, he was on it. And I took a step back to admire the magnificent courage and guts of the man. The atmosphere was fantastic, with the audience helping fill out on the vocals, and the band bounced off of that incredible energy. The atmosphere was just wonderful. And I loved how Mike Rutherford kept an eye on Phil throughout the gig. At times, concern spread across his face, and at other times, a smile as his old buddy steered a true course through an excellent selection of classic Genesis songs. At times, Phil would turn in his chair to look back at his son Nick playing drums behind them, and you could see the admiration for his son's magnificent playing, but also written on Phil's face, you could see some longing, some deep longing to be up there performing aside Nick. The rest of the band played their hearts out as well. Mike Rutherford, such an underrated musician, especially as a bass player. Go and listen to some of those iconic bass lines on those Genesis classic songs. Mr. Tony Banks, a titan on the keyboards, whose solo on the Cinema Show, for example, is still one of the great synthesizer solos of all time, while Daryl Sturmer on guitar is another unsung hero. To be honest, I thought I was going to be there watching a band, an old rock and roll band, just going through the motions. Instead, I saw something special, a tribute, a celebration of the power of rock and roll. Yes, Phil Collins is sitting in a chair and can't hold a drumstick, but he had that audience in the palm of his hands. He even poked fun at himself during I Know What I Like in Your Wardrobe, playing a mock tambourine solo on his elbow and on his forehead. I hope Phil Collins gets through this tour safely. And you know what? Gets better each night. Good on you, Phil. If you want to see a great gig, you want to go to a gig with atmosphere, pizzazz, played by fantastic musicians, go and see this tour. Personally, I was shocked just how much I enjoyed watching that gig. And it seems a lifetime ago now since I walked into London's Drury Lane Theatre in January 1973 to witness Genesis perform the Selling England by the Pound tour. That album, Selling England by the Pound, and that fantastic tour always seemed like the band's coming out party as they established themselves right up there with the likes of Floyd, Yes, Tull, etc. Thanks for listening. Please stay safe, stay well. If you want to drop me a comment, you can drop me one by email. I'll put my email address in the description. Thanks for listening. Please stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you in the next video.